thought I'd do a Sean Smokes impression there. Oh boy, John McKay, John's on here. Let me see if I can get those back. Um, Greetings from the woods, John. Good morning. Who else is on there? Whiskey Wolf. Morning, guys. What can I say? You know, it's one of the things that I truly love, and I've been doing this pretty much my entire life, is going out in the woods, camping or hunting. I don't hunt anymore, but camping and the like. And I'll tell you what, it is just, it's so peaceful. I'm sitting here next to the Himalayan. I've got my Kuska, and let me know if you can hear me okay. Like I said, this is my very first time doing any kind of live show other than in either the shop or the house. But we've got our Kuska, and if you guys don't know what that is, that's kind of a Norwegian, Scandinavian uh, camping or backpacking cup, and I love these to death. Whiskey says sound pretty good, and Yanni says, yep, well, that's good. Again, cheers every morning, everybody, and good morning. Let's see, whoops, good morning. Audio sounds good to me. God, awesome, awesome. I'm going to have to get my glasses out because the words are little, and I'm doing this on the phone, so pardon my old man look, but you know what? I'm Old Man Ronin. Again, some wonderful coffee in our Kuska. Wow. You know, I'll take you around here in a little bit. I hope I don't lose signal, but if I do, then I'll come right back to it. But the it's such a beautiful place we're at right now. We're surrounded. We're on like a ridge, and there's ravines on either side, and it's beautiful. It's really peaceful here this morning. There's some distant road sounds, but you're going to get that anywhere pretty much in Ohio. There's roads all around us, but this is about a mile and a half from any kind of real civilization, and that's what's important to me. But like I said, I wanted to bring you out. Now we've got the Himalayan, obviously, and we want to do a live chat. See if you guys have anything you want to say. Again, pardon me for all these live streams lately because of the computer issues. However, I was talking to my computer guy, and it's already done. The computer has been. I bought a brand new computer, but hey, Iron Lady, how you doing? Good morning. And we're waiting now for the imaging to be finished on my hard drive to see if anything is possible. And I don't want to go make a couple trips to the computer guy, but hopefully next week we'll have videos back up and running. And then, of course, we're going to do a live stream once a month anyway. And I'm going to start doing shorts. I did one earlier, and I don't know how many of you guys have ever, looked at any of the YouTube shorts out there, but they're kind of pushing it. I think that what they're trying to do is YouTube's trying to go against TikTok and some of the Instagram things as well too. I'll tell you what, I'm using this stuff called Bends. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it keeps the bugs off of you. Now they're going to fly around you, but you need this stuff in the wood. And bugs usually don't bother me. Bugs don't bug me, but I'm telling you, I use this and they don't land at all on you. And that's shameless promotion. I get nothing for it. Yay me. But what I was getting at was the computer is finished. It's just a matter of me picking it up, but I'm waiting until he gets the old hard drive imaged and see if we can save any of my other stuff. I back up pretty much all my videos, so I don't have any worry about that. And I back up all of my what do you call it? Financials and things like that. But the problem I have is there's so much other personal stuff that I don't have the room on any of these other hard drives. I've got 3 spare hard drives that I put together over the last couple of if you're German, it's 3. But I put over the last couple of months, and because I had anticipation of fail. But let's see. Whiskey said something. Let's see if I can find him again. It came back up. Oh, I'm trying to tap the screen. There it is. It said that helps for ticks. Ticks are terrible down here in Kentucky. They're terrible here in Ohio too. And I say Ohio because it's the way we say it. Not Ohio. That means you're from Pennsylvania or someplace. But yeah, we have ticks pretty bad. Let's see. Hey, mush toad hunter. Okay, Neil. Whatever. But I do like morels. They're done. There's no more morels this year. Ramps are done. Fiddleheads are done. Uh, and of course morels are done as well too. You can still see some puffballs coming up and that type of stuff. But I get back to my imaging on my computer. And we're hoping that it'll be finished imaging by Wednesday, because he said it's took ever since he's had the computer, he's been trying to finish it. And there's no guarantee we're gonna get everything back. If not, well, then I have a lot of work to do to get back into some of the things that I've had that I need to try to redo or recover. Me being a chef, I have a lot of my recipes now. Most of them, 90% of them, have been backed up, but not all of them. We didn't get any this year. Sorry, man. We got we got a few, and the frost. We had some snow here in the the last part of April, which knocked everything down. And but we've got some, obviously. Um, but I didn't want to take a lot in the area that we find them, is because I'm going to let them spore out for that very reason. And a lot of people don't understand that you can over harvest anything, in particular morels. And like I said, for that we kind of let some of them go, and that way they can spore out, and hopefully, and you can see that the deer and the squirrels and turkeys and stuff were pecking at them, and when they do that, they spread, and that makes me happy. So hopefully next year it'll be a bigger bounty. But again, my dad taught me, and my uncle Warren taught me that pick four, leave one. It's every five. So that's that way you can keep it going. So never want to over harvest anything. And if you find an area that's really sparse, leave it completely. Don't pick it. Like I say, only pick if you see five, pick four. That's the hillbilly way. Well, we got 9 people watching, and like I said, we did do a little promo for it, but again, I'm limited on what I can do on the phone, and I'm really appreciative of each and every one of you guys that are out here watching me. So let me finish this little cup, and I'm going to take you for a little walk. What's that sound like? John says we go a bad spring here in the Netherlands, wet and windy. Yeah, wet and windy. Cold is what killed the mushrooms. I mean, I shouldn't say killed, knocked them down. They didn't come up like they normally would. And that's what got us. You can have too much water, obviously, but we didn't. It was actually pretty good, except for the cold temperature for the mushrooms, and that really made me happy. It's just that cold snap with that couple inches of snow just some of the early buds and some of the trees were knocked down, but you cannot tell that today. I mean, it is beautiful here. Been a chilly spring here too. And you're in Kentucky, is that correct, Whiskey? Or, make sure you remind me on that. Like I said, I should be using my glasses, but let me finish my little kuksa. When I backpack, and I do a lot of that as well too. I carry this puppy with me everywhere. Yeah, Eastern Kentucky. So, are you on near the West Virginia line, or not that far east? Just curious. I spent a lot of time around Maysville. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but right on the Ohio River. I used to do a lot of, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of fishing on the Ohio River. That's I still love it. I mean, again, I think the Mississippi should be called the Ohio, because the Mississippi is not as big as the Ohio till they join together. Right on it. That's great, man. That's perfect. You're in the coal mining areas, I reckon. So, and like I said, it's a beautiful area down there. I love anywhere from, I'd say, in Ohio, I-70 south, and I-70, I'd say I-77 east. It's all beautiful. Northern area. Gotcha, man. Gotcha. In that elk country. Yeah, I know they brought some elk back into Kentucky. I wish we'd do it in Ohio, but the insurance companies would have an absolute fit. They don't like deer as it is. I mean, they're the primary reason we have so many deer that you can shoot in the state, because of the insurance companies. Well, let's go for a little walk, and we'll see what we can see. How's that sound? I don't know if you've ever seen that on live stream or not, but here we go. I kind of want to show you some of the stuff that we're looking at today. And if you've seen the promo picture, you saw this really cool bridge that it's a log that's fell down. It's probably about 3.5, 4 foot in diameter, and that is right there. And ooh, sounded like a dog barking. There's not too many dogs out here in the wild, but we'll get some coyotes. But we're going to walk down this ridge here and show you some really, if I don't fall on my butt, really interesting scenery. I'll try to stay. Again, I'm doing this by holding it in my hand. And if I lose you, let me check my signal. If I lose you, then I will come right back to you. But I just want to show you some of this beautiful, beautiful locations here. And let's turn and you can see, whoop, come down the hill. you can see the big log there, and it's kind of a natural bridge. Let's see if we can do this. I'll tell you what, this place that we've got basically to ourselves is just amazing. Let's see, nice to hear all the birds. Yeah, I'm glad you can hear them, because I wasn't sure what the bike would pick up. But we had turkey calling a little earlier. When I brought the Himalayan back here, I spooked a deer, which I hate to do. I hate to spook them, but she didn't flag, so it was pretty good. Still good. Now it's in the border, continues south of me. Okay. Let's see. Hug a tree. Well, I love my trees. There's no question about it. I wouldn't consider myself a tree hugger because I'm not an idiot. I love what I love, but again, we're not going to go that crazy. I mean, there is a purpose for them. I don't think you should be cutting them down just for, giggles. But you can see some of these. Okay, you know what? You convinced me. I'll hug this tree. Aw, isn't that sweet? And we'll show you the Himalayan here. There's the Himi. Again, I didn't set up a campsite this morning. I wanted to run back here and just do the live stream. We got lots of stuff to do today. We're gonna be doing some riding. I do want to show you one cool little place, and I think it's gonna be. We call it Death Alley, and the reason why is because back here there's been several massacres of deer by coyotes, and I want to show you just one little thing, and it takes me a little bit of time to get back in. I hope like I say, I want to be cognizant of not losing signal, because I am out here in the middle of nowhere, and we'll see how this picks up. This is one of the ridges. I don't know how well it come in the camera, but that's about 40 feet down into another ravine. Sorry about the flash, but we're going to take you back into Death Alley. See, people are saying, yeah, I did hug the tree, Thor. New black Hemi looks good. Yeah, I tell you what, they're beautiful motorcycles. We're gonna get flashed here because we're coming into some sunshine, and I'm not sure how the camera's gonna react to it. It's not gonna be much sunshine, but we got to climb over this tree that fell, maybe. And then I'll show you why we call this place Death Alley. Just around the corner here. It's this is deer country right here, but it's also coyote country. And you can see the skull. Poor little butt didn't quite make it. And then we've got a young one that was killed this year. And of course, I hope YouTube don't censor me on that. But there was one that was tore up here, and didn't quite make it. But you know what? That's nature. I hate to see it, but it is what it is. So let's go back to the Himalayan and continue our chat and try to answer some questions about maybe camping and some of the adventures we've got planned for the future. Before I ever, I've been camping my whole life, so I get a lot of people that saying, well, moto camping is kind of a new thing. Not really. It is maybe for this younger generation, but when I was doing some long-term motorcycle rides, cross country up to Alaska, down to Mexico, things like that, that's all I did. I didn't have enough money to stay in hotels everywhere I went, so what I would do is take a tarp, a sleeping bag, and maybe a tent once in a while, and that's where I would stay. I got a great story here I'm going to tell you when we get back to the Himalayan. And there she is. You can see the Sportner. Whoop, get the camera right. The Sportner camp chair that I use a lot. I'll tell you, that thing is really cool. I did a video on it, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's they're light. They handle really nice. They strap to the back of the bike, and it does a superior job, and it enables me to lay back and put my head on the old Hemi, because I can adjust the height to it, and it's perfect. So the story, I was riding to California, and I was going mostly back roads, but I decided one evening to stop at a local convenience store / gas station. And I stopped there and I asked the guy, I said, hey, do you mind if I camp in the back there overnight. I just want to get a few hours of sleep before I continue on the way. And he was a Harley rider, and he said, and this was on a Harley Davidson. He said, "Man, go ahead." He says, "It's cool." Well, the next morning when I woke up, and I just had my little sleeping bag and the tarp, and of course it was tied to the motorcycle, and the other side was tied to the closest thing to me was the big trash dumpster. So I had part of it tied there. I always carry a paracord or rope or whatever, and I had it tied to the dumpster, and I had the other side tied, the tarp tied to the motorcycle, and of course I was sleeping underneath it. The next morning there was a little can there with about $10 worth of ones. People thought I was homeless or whatever. Hey, I took the money, man. That was gas that day. But I think you get a kick. I have so many goofy adventures like that. That's just, out of the blue stuff. That's just is so much fun. Oh, and if you haven't paid attention to Instagram, do you see this? Yeah, I put the Royal Enfield hand guards on it. I got them pretty inexpensive. Let's see. Let me get my glasses because I'm old and stuff. Coyotes overpopulated. Yeah, they kind of are. There's no, and they're not really real coyotes. Around this area, they're kind of bred with dogs, so they're a little bit bigger, and they're not really native. Let me see if I can get that back. Come on, you get back. Well, I can't. But they're not really native to Ohio, and I think somebody else said hello from Germany, and Guten Tag. I really, like I said, when it's on the phone, it doesn't stay. It flashes there for a second and drops off. So if I missed a question, please comment again there or chat again, and we'll try to get back to it. But try not to lose my train of thought either. We've had so many adventures over the years, and it's one of the things I want to truly relay to a lot of you folks. This moto camping, this long distance driving. Oh, here it is. He says, "Do the Himalayans have grease fittings or all sealed bearings?" There's not a lot. They're mostly sealed or they're open. And that's one of the things that, especially on a swing arm, that needs to be rectified, in my opinion. They need to be sealed. But you can keep them greased if you just pay attention. There are some fittings, but they're few and far between. The best thing for you to do is when you buy your motorcycle, ask these specific questions to your specific dealer. I think I've told this 100 times. I try to avoid getting too specific on what you should or shouldn't do. I'll give you some generalizations. Like people ask me all the time, please do a valve adjustment. I'm probably never going to do that. I'll do it, but I'm not going to film it because I don't know what your experience level is. But so when it comes into technical situations that needs a little bit more expertise, I'm going to always defer you to Royal Enfield's service manual. And if you're a Patreon, you can get a free one. One of the things I do for my Patreons is I put it's patreon.com, Ol Man Ronin. I put a link to a download for the service manual on the Himalayan, so that way you can, if you are a Patreon, and you can do it for $1 a month. There's no levels on mine as of yet. Again, this computers thing really slowed a lot of stuff down. I can't get into my Patreons to get any, and all my addresses and stuff like that are on my hard drives, my spare drives, but I can't get to them until after the computer comes, and then I can open them up. I don't have only but one computer, and I'm kind of stuck. So some of the t-shirts and some of the stickers that were ordered, I cannot send them until I get that stuff back, and hopefully it's not an excuse, it's a reason. And hopefully that'll happen at the end of this week, and I'll be able to get back running full operation, because I've decided to do quite a few other things besides just the videos. We're going to do a short, and that short's going to be called Ol Man Ronin's Motorcycle Minute, which we're going to do some basic maintenance, just some tips. Maybe like, I see a lot of people when they go moto camping, and it's not going to be purely moto camping. It's going to be all kind of stuff from Harley Davidson to test rides and all kind of things like that. Maybe some promos like we've done in the past. But we're also going to be doing some basic how-tos, like certain how-tos on how to baton wood. And not necessarily with a knife, but I know a lot of people say, you should never baton wood with a knife. Well, if you have a really good knife, you can do it. And if you don't know what that means taking wood and splitting it up into tinder. Let's see. Whiskey Wolf says, have a great day. Y'all need to get ready for work. Gotcha, man. And you have a good day as well, too. Let's see. Gary's Rambling says, "Hi, Ol Man Ronin. Great to join in from the UK. And greetings. Like I say, we're sitting here with our cooksa, and we're drinking some coffee. We got the old Hemi in the background with the new hand guards on it, and just enjoying the morning. Other than my big mouth yap yap yapping, there is so much beauty. And like I said earlier, I took you down into the woods to show you that fallen tree that was the thumbnail for this particular live stream promo. And this is such a beautiful area. There's loads of wildlife, and you can hear. Hopefully, let me be quiet for a second to hear the birds. Earlier this morning when I first pulled back here, we have a family of barred owls that live really close, and they were calling to each other from like maybe a half a mile apart, and it was really interesting to hear that. I love hearing the barred owls. I was kind of hoping that they could do it again while I'm talking, but they only do it in the morning and the evening. What I've reckoned, and I think that we get lucky, we might hear one, but probably not because I'm sitting here yapping in the woods. I'm doing what city people do. Have you ever noticed that? I don't know if you guys ever go to parks or anything like that. I don't really go to a lot of parks because of this reason. I try to enjoy nature. Andy says, "Hey, bye," or no, that's Stuart. Hey, bye. What's hey, bye? Um, if you just joined and you're leaving, that's cool. But if you walk through this, if you notice that people, and they say, "Well, I've never seen a deer out here." Shut your mouth. Quit stomping on sticks. I guess I got too much hunter in me. But again, they're enjoying nature. They're getting away from all the smog and all the pollution that they have in the cities, all the trash and things. It just hurts me when I see people bring trash into my area and don't take it out. We try to leave things a lot cleaner than what we find it, and I think that's been my mantra my whole life. If I'm a conservationist. I mean, big time. That's probably my. If I'm a radical in anything, it's that I want to make sure everything is clean. Do you have bears? A little bit farther east of here, yes, we do. They're Western Pennsylvania, uh, West Virginia. I think Kentucky does as well too, and we have some in the eastern part of the state, more closer to the Ohio River. Um, I've seen a couple killed on the road, probably about a few years ago, about 25, 30 miles from here. But let's see. Do you ever camp at AEP? No, too many people. I prefer private lands. This is private land. When I'm in the woods, I want to relax. I don't want to have a bunch of yelling kids and things like that. Now, I'm not against it. It's just that I don't like public lands because I want to enjoy myself. And that's one thing that I am kind of a stickler. And I mentioned about being a conservationist or not a conservationist. What I said earlier. Words are mixed up today. But I really do want to keep, not to the fact that I want to put laws on stuff. I just want people to act normal. In other words, if you have trash, get rid of it properly. Don't cut stuff down or shoot things just for the sake of doing it. Um, if you need to use this particular part of a property, use it for that use, and then save some of the rest. It's like when I hunt mushrooms. I mentioned earlier. You find five, pick four, leave one, and that way it can continue. Sometimes it's even better to leave two. I think you know, the term conservative has kind of gotten destroyed by all this politics, but conservative means to conserve, and that's whether it's fuel, whether it's waste not, want not. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Neil says, was wondering if they put a fee on camping out there after the stated. I don't know, and I was there back in the 80s, and I haven't been back since because not that I had a bad experience. It's just there's too many people. It's like going down to, and a few folks from around the world or around the country won't know where that's at, but we have a place called uh, it's down by Logan, Ohio, and it's called Hocking Hills, and it's gorgeous. But man, you'll go down there and there'll be hundreds, if not thousands, of people there, and I can't do it. Like I said, here I am the only person within miles, and you'll hear a dog in the background. Up these valleys and ridges, the sound travels quite far, but this is what nature is to me, and I know I'm blessed because I have access to places, but I build access by having long-term relationships. And the property I'm on right now is a over a 10-year relationship that I've got with the person that owns it, and I've got the ability to come here. And of course it's like that no matter where I go. And we were like that when we had property up north too. You build relationships, like our farm that we had in our family, the Hout farm, in northern Tuscarawas County, southern Stark County. Let's see. Neil says not that many people there these days, but I haven't been there for 7 years. I don't know. Like I said, everybody when it comes down here, they go to Hocking Hills. There's a it's called uh, Woodland or Woodmere. I can't remember the name of it. It's a big wildlife area. They have a 1,000-yard shooting range over there too, and there's not as many people there too, but it's more open plain. It's old. It's all old strip mine land, and I think that people are starting to go there more now, but I'm not really sure. But to get back to Hocking Hills and things like that, in our farm, we would let some people come in, but the minute that they abused, like, if they're going deer hunting or they're going squirrel hunting or whatever, you shoot a deer, you don't properly take care of it, or you leave shotgun shells, then you're never allowed back. I mean, that's just natural. And for us here, uh, squirrel, for us here, we want to make sure that we leave things better than what we came in with. John may say maybe an idea for a video. What's that, John? Which part of the ramble do you think would be a good part for the video about conservationists? Yeah, I really do think that conserving nature, particularly more and more people are getting involved in camping, and I get a kick out. I watch some of the videos, and how poorly. And there's not really that tutorial. When people go moto camping, they usually go to like a campsite, and they really don't know how to rough it, and that's cool. I mean, most of them don't want to put that much effort into it. But when I camp, I'm not near people. I'm building fires, and I'm processing wood. Let's see. Tony says hello from the outback of Australia. Hey, mate, bought a Himalayan first bike. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. And Gary said COVID has changed, and I lost it, Gary. It went off the screen. There it is. COVID has caused my favorite sites to get overrun with people who don't know how to camp and ruin everything. And that's the reason why I don't go to public sites, because it's usually screaming, running around kids. Now I sound like, get off my lawn kind of guy, but the reality of it is I just can't stand that. If I'm out away and I want to relax, I want to look at bats. I want to hear deer walk through the woods. I want to listen to owls do their screech or their calls. I want to hear birds chirping. I don't want to hear a bunch of people running their yaps and not really, acting like they're back in, downtown Columbus, and, not picking on, yeah, I'm picking on Columbus, but they really need to just relax, just enjoy nature, or just go to I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, because that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is say, hey, everybody get a chance to go moto camping, but do it properly. In other words, when you take stuff in, make sure you bring more than that out. Learn how to. You're out here in the woods and you need to use the restroom. Learn how to properly bury your excrement. That's just the easiest one. I know some people burn the toilet paper, but use biodegradable toilet paper, you'll be fine. This is getting weird, but I mean, know your area. If you're building a fire, make sure that you clear an area. Surround it with a stone if you can find it. If you can't find it, clear the area wider where there's just plain dirt and there's no fire. What do you call it? Material that can go. Uh, Fire management is very important, and fire control is even more so, particularly if you're in an area that's really dry. Now, right here, I wouldn't worry so much about it because it's still pretty moist. But if you get out west, or if we have a drought, then fire management in the woods is critical. And unfortunately, most people are more interested in being on their phone. I know I'm on my phone, but then they are paying attention to what's going on. And I think that's kind of it's a downer for a lot of folks. And it really is something that I think that needs to be more cognizant. And I think, like I say, hopefully we can use this channel here in the future as a way to teach people how to actually go camping and moto camping or backpacking. Neil says, up here in Northeast Ohio, everybody's selling their timber. I know, it's like that. It's like that. This woods here was probably timbered out for walnut and an oak about 15 years ago. And it's a shame because when I see these gigantic 200, put my hands up, like 200 or 300-year-old trees that are gone now just for the sake of that. But they have to have the wood, I get it. And a lot of people need money, and I get that too. Um, I just wouldn't do it personally. I'd much rather have the trees. And if you do cut one down, plant 10. Um, you'll never see them into that maturity, never. But think of people in the future. Let's see. John says, "Have you been outside the USA?" Yes, I've been. I've been blessed. I've been all over the world. Been to Europe a bunch of times, Southeast Asia, Australia, South America, China, India. Um, as a youth, my father used to host tours, and I was blessed to be able to go all over the world. In fact, I learned how to cook Italian, which is my forte in my chef life in Italy. And I spent some time over there. Let's see. Oh, I lost it. Daggone it. Let's see if it comes back. Let's see. Craig says, "Hi from Australia. Love the Roll Enfield content. Been watching for a long time. Awesome." And who is it? Hello, Ronin. I didn't see the name. It went off the screen. Again, I got to keep my glasses out here. What do I do with them? Oh, right on my leg. So next time that pops up, I'll have to get my glasses out. And I want to welcome each and every one of you. Like I say, we got the Hemi out here today, out in the woods. And like I say, we're about a mile off of a road, maybe a little bit more, a mile and a half. And there's nobody around. We got 20 people watching, and I want to thank each and every one of you. Again, hopefully next week, no promises. I never make a promise I can't guarantee to fulfill. Hopefully next week we'll be able to get the videos up and running again. And there's some really cool stuff. Come to India again. You know, I'm the reason I was able to do that was the fact that my father, and I'll get back to those, was hosting tours, and I got to go for free because I was a kid, and then I got to go, you know, as an older adult too. When I was fishing, I was traveling all over the world as well too, teaching people how to bass fish, and doing seminars and stuff, and that was a lot of fun as well too, like South Africa and things like that. But we really enjoy, and even Japan, we really enjoy speaking to people about the great outdoors, in particular motorcycle riding. I don't think anyone's going anywhere for the foreseeable future. I know, and that could possibly be. Again, one of the trips I wanted to make with your Hemi, one of the trips I wanted to make was I do it every year, and I haven't done it for a couple years now. I call it the Great Lakes Ring, and now people do that with boats, and that's common. But we always used to do it with motorcycles. You run up Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, up Lake Huron, Lake St. Clair. Gotta mention Lake St. Clair. It's one of my favorite places to fish. Up Lake Huron, around Superior, back down Michigan, and back to Ohio to cover and go around all the Great Lakes. And it's a beautiful ride. Some of it's got some city stuff to it, but you know, if you get around Detroit or up at Hamilton and places like that, Toronto, you're gonna have some city stuff to go around. But it's mostly beautiful countryside. But Canada's closed. We're not being able to go up there, and so that's one of the things we can't do. So my new Himalayan gets many head turns in northern Kentucky, and, you know, and they do. Um, there's one of the fans on here. His name is Andy. He's Signified. Say hello to Andy. And he's a brand new biker, and we want to make sure that he's welcomed by not only us but the community as well too. And he came out to my food truck here a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't believe how many people that were just going into the place that I was set up at was asking him about his Himalayan, and that made me feel really good. And like I said, and he bought it from Throttle Company in Columbus. And I'll tell you, if you guys are in the East Central or Central Ohio area, go to Throttle Company. They actually have, I gave them a stack of stickers to give away. So they have some, if you want some free Ol Man Ronin stickers, go to Throttle Company. They have them there. And talk to Ken or Dylan or Nicole. They're the ones there that own the company. And it's Royal Enfield of Columbus, Throttle Company. Kyle says, "I made the trip to Iron Pony in Columbus yesterday." That's awesome. You need to check out Throttle Company. I want to change my drop link to a shorter to increase the height of the bike. Will it hurt? Oh, lost it. Well, it hurt, I guess, the bike anyway. It shouldn't if it's not. I mean, you're probably only going to do, what, 15, 20 millimeters, something like that. Shouldn't hurt it. The only time you really hurt the handling is when you do an extreme change in the geometry of the motorcycle. And a lot of times you can get those simple little changes just with, like you say, what you're going to be doing. And it shouldn't hurt it at all. Like I say, on my Harleys, I'll change 4 to 6 inches on the front end height, and I'll lower in the back, and it's just to the edge of where the geometry would be messed up. But you're not going to mess up with that. No, it shouldn't bother it at all. Again, question for your local dealer. Okay, later, gotta go. Sassafras, poles for chicken. Okay, well, see you, Neil. Gary said, what do you got into being a chef? Oh, what? Well, let me see that again. What got me into being a chef? I think, yeah, what got you into being a chef rather than an engineer? It seems to be more natural. Well, I was raised in restaurants. My dad had restaurants, and I started cooking at his restaurant at 11 years old. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of a jack of all trades and master of none. I kind of accomplish anything I want to put my mind to. It's just I got to love it. Cooking is a way that I can use a passion of mine, which is cooking, and make a decent amount of money. Not great. I'm not going to ever get, nobody ever gets rich from being a chef. I mean, unless you're on TV, and then that really, you're not a chef anymore. You're on TV. But it's one of those type of things that I study a lot, I read a lot, I investigate a lot, I research a lot in the things that I love. I was never trained as a mechanic, but I could pretty much tear a Harley or a Royal Enfield or pretty much anything that doesn't have computers to it apart and put it back together again. I did that when I was a child, to my bane of my father's existence. I used to tear apart the mower and figure out how it worked. I did it with radios, and that's kind of one of the things I've always done. I'm interested, so I dissect it and rebuild it. And then hopefully it's alive, like Frankenstein would do. It's one of those type of things. And the chef thing for me is really easy. I've got a very educated palate, being all over the world. I know what things are supposed to taste like. I want to give some of you folks in America a little sad reckoning. Olive Garden is not Italian. Not even close. It's just fast food. And I know I'll never be sponsored by Olive Garden, that's for sure. But and a lot of people like it, and that's cool. I appreciate that they do like it. Drink some more. Shut up, Jeff. Oh, that's my real name. Wolfpack says you should start a show with cooking with the Hemi. We're going to do some stuff like that when I finally get my video cameras back up running. So, because it's too hard for me to actually do this with the phone and then do other stuff. I'd rather set up my different cameras and actually show you how to do it. I will give you a hint. I have another channel that's called Our Country Living. And in Our Country Living, I did it before I did this because I wanted to see how I would look on the camera. And see if it'd be interesting. And there's a few cooking shows up there. So if you're interested in seeing some recipes, I do just some basic stuff. There's only a couple. There's not very many. Stuff like cabbage soup, and it's country style food. Stuff like German spätzle or spätzle. And there's also I think some other recipes on there as well too. But it's really mild. It's really minimal. And I was doing it to practice to see what I would look like on camera. But you can check it out. It's called Our Country Living. And I haven't done anything probably in about a year now, almost a year. Maybe down the road I'll do some more of those. But I'd rather concentrate on this. This is my big passion in life, and it has been since I was 6 years old, is motorcycles and things related to it. And again, I'm the guy that likes all motorcycles. Well, maybe not Honda. If you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. I goof on Honda all the time because why? It's so easy. But no, they are a bike that they're built for everybody. They're all over the world. And there's so many of them that, and I've had a couple Hondas in my lifetime, and they're great motorcycles. Nothing wrong with it. I just like to goof on something, and that they're the ones who get it. Sorry, Honda guys, that's the way it is. Drink some more coffee here. Well, we've been on for 38 minutes. I'm not going to take it any farther than 40. I want to keep these a little bit shorter than my normal live chats until after we get the videos up and running again. So if you have any questions or any comments, or if you really loved what we're doing here, please, please, please make a comment, particularly now in the downtime with the computer. I really want to hear what you think of what we're doing. Again, like I said, this is something that I just decided to put together to make sure that I keep having content out there instead of just going silent. That would kill me. There's so many people that I want to keep in contact with. And let me give you a hint. Now, if you're following me on Instagram, and I can't put the link on it, but Instagram.com/Ol Man Ronin, please follow me there. I do more things there. Almost put stuff up every day. I also put every Monday, or almost every Monday, and almost every Friday, a little blurb about what we're doing. Wolfpack said, "Okay, do you hunt?" No, I don't. I used to. It's one of the things. My father and I went everywhere together, not only worldwide but also hunting wide. And I've been out west hunting elk and pronghorn and mule deer. And of course, to me, deer hunting is super easy. I know it sounds very condescending, but if you one of the things that I learned a long time ago, and then we'll get back to what I was going to talk about with the Instagram, uh, but learned a long time ago that all living creatures have basic set patterns. And in fishing, we call that pattern fishing. And you incorporate their environmental factors, which is the need to eat, the need to sleep, the need to find shelter, and the need to protect their young and reproduce. And if you pay attention to those particular factors, you can center on any creature and be successful. I don't hunt deer anymore because I would much rather eat beef. It's just me. Some people love venison more, or deer more, I should say. Venison is all wild game, but or well, like I say, elk and deer and bison and things like that. But I just I don't need to. I don't want to. I'd rather watch them, and I think that's an age thing. Once you've been through and you've shot 20 or 30 deer in your life and elk and things of that nature, you get it becomes no. I'd rather go see them, and now I'd rather go out and photograph them. Which I haven't really done a lot. I'm going to start doing more photography too to incorporate it in the channel as well too. Mosquitoes not on me, but they're around me. Very dark area, a lot of humidity, and I'm talking a lot, so I'm getting the CO out there, the carbon dioxide out there. So that's where they center on. But anyway, if you learn how to pattern an animal, it becomes easy. But the problem with that is, if you're a hunter, you just don't want to do it anymore. And like I say, I get a bigger kick out of watching wild turkey than in calling them. Now I do call them all the time, and I'll do that this fall. The time to call them, you can still do it now. You'll get them to respond. But I like to do it when they huddle back up. Right now the males are in bachelor groups and the females are on eggs or roosting young ones, and we don't really bother them. It's one of those type of things. But you can hear them all the time, and that's one of the things that if you pattern them, it becomes easy. And I know that sounds very preachy, but I apologize. Not really, but I apologize, and we'll not really, but we'll it's not fun for me anymore. It's more fun to sneak up on them, like I did the other day. We were out in this area right here, and I walked up on a deer that was sleeping, and it's all about not running your yap, and not stepping on sticks, and not moving fast. And great story. I drink some more coffee first. When I was a kid, I was showing off a lot. No kidding. Let me read this first and I'll get back to my story. I'm planning to buy an Isuzu D-Max. It's a pickup truck. I don't know what that brand is, but Isuzu used to make some really cool vehicles. They were one of the only early small trucks that had a full frame, and didn't have unibody, and I'd much rather have a full frame under me than a unibody. Get back to my story. I was one of my best friends when I was a kid. His name was Jimmy, and his family moved into close to us, and they're coming from the city. His dad worked at a steel mill, and they were in the city, and they wanted to move out closer to the country to get away. Raising kids in a more less urban environment. So what he did is he would say, "Oh, I'd love to see some deer," and so I said, "Hey, let's go in the woods." So we went down to my grandma's farm, which was several miles away from us, and we went into the farm and went back in the woods and stuff like that. And I said, there's deer trails here, and this is what they do, and here's a communication tree, and here's a rub or a scrape that the deers use all the time. So in this area, we're going to find some deer sometime today, and again using environmental factors. And I would walk real slowly, I always perch beside, not touching it, but perch beside a tree, and that way I could look around, because the key is to keep the deer's head covered, and then you can get fairly close to it. But I hate to tell you all this stuff. Let's see. Do you use WD-40 on your motorcycle? No. Sorry, don't use it. We got really, I saw a doe, and I got really close to it. And back then I was a cocky kid, teenager, you know what I mean? And so I got real close to it in the deer's head, and I walked right up to it, and I got so close that I could smack her on the butt. And I did. And she pooped all over me. So I've never done that again. But I was trying to be really funny. And I tell you what, my buddy Jimmy laughed at me for years on that. Uh, and you downwind, you do if you're using a lot of scent. In other words, if you're a guy that's out there using lots of different fragrant soaps and aftershaves and things like that, you do. I don't have much L-Sarin, so look it up. Google it, what L-Sarin is. I don't have much L-Sarin in my system, so I don't have that predatory scent as much. And I think I'm more closely related to nature. I don't wear well, I do wear camouflage, but not to hunt with. I've always just worn brown clothes. Deer see blue, stay away from blue. It's one of the things that people don't realize. Deer, that's one of their primary colors. They see blue really, really well. And guys walking around in blue jeans or blue shirts, maybe not so much. But again, you do still say downwind, particularly during hunting season when there's a lot of guys out there stomping around or drive hunting. I'm a still hunter. Look it up. Well, let's get back. Let's see what we're talking about, and I'm going to end it here pretty soon. Man, 45 minutes already. Time goes so fast. I'll tell you, it's crazy. I really do love the comments, and like I say, I kind of think, I hope I don't come off of acting like I know everything when it comes to the outdoors. I've just been in it my whole life, and I have a lot of information to share, and hopefully some of this stuff. I was a pretty successful bass fisherman, and to me, bass fishing is a lot harder than hunting. Again, and the reason why I say that is because you have to have all the factors the same as hunting without the visuals, unless it's extremely clear water. And the difference between fishing and hunting is the creature has the ability to move vertically as well as horizontally and in different angles. And whereas a deer has to stay on the ground, a duck has to stay either on the water or in the air, and you know where they're going to be. A fish can be anywhere in that environmental situation, and so that's why they're more difficult. And you have to make them bite. It's not only just seeing them like you do a deer. You see a deer. If you get close enough and you're a good shot, you can take him down. You do the same thing. If you're a good enough shot, you can take a duck down or a turkey or whatever it is. If you're quiet, paying attention to the situation, you just have to see them and be good enough with your accuracy, and you can take them down. Whereas with bass or any other fish in that particular method, you have to not only find them, but coax them into biting. And in the bass fishing world, it's pretty much all artificial lures, which means that you have to get something that's not natural and make them think it is natural. And that's why I think it's a lot more difficult to be a bass fisherman than a hunter. Anyways, I miss woods and my childhood. Do you? Um, I miss my old woods, yes. I don't miss woods now because I have access to places like this, and I'm out here. I'm in the woods every day. Like I'm on my motorcycle every day. Sorry, guys. Um, I'm old, and I've put myself in position to be that way. Not only old, but in the woods. Uh, I am not a city boy. When we first moved to Central Ohio, we moved to a town called Delaware, Ohio. And let's see, talking about deers and German Himalayan groups. That bike, okay, wait till it comes back because I couldn't get a chance to read it fast enough. Come on, come back. Where are you? I'll have to finish it when it comes back. Somebody else comments so I can read that again. But um, what was I getting at? My childhood. Where did that go? See, this is what happens when you gray up. But in my childhood, I was, always blessed to be near the woods as well too, and motorcycles as well. I lost that. I have no idea what I was saying. Squirrel moment. Got distracted by the screen there. Well, we've got 21 thumbs up and 22 watchers. Quickly, anybody have a question there? I hope I can get that back because he said something. Oh, there it is. Talking about deers in German Himalayan groups. The bike is called REH, which means deer in German. Awesome. And you know what? That's a very good. It's a very good word for it because Royal Enfield Himalayan, would it be pronounced Re? But the German. I mean, we are German in our family. It's Schneider and Haut. Schneider's my last name. Schneider, Americanized, and then Haut, Haut, or Hot, which would be southwestern, German, near the the French border. That's where our family on that side comes from. So yeah, very very German-ish blue eyes. Um, no hair, no. But any other questions? That'd be great. I'd like to hear from you. This was a lot of fun. This has probably been my favorite. It's probably not going to be the most successful one, but it's been my favorite live stream because I'm able to do it. And I can't believe I have signal out here. That's the best. But I am up on a rise where I'm really there's a couple hills to the northwest of me that are taller, but to me that way, which would be southeast, it's kind of goes downhill. And then there's a city probably about 8-10 miles away that they have really good signal. And so that's where I'm getting the signal from, which is cool, man. This makes me happy. I'm able to do these live streams out here in my favorite place, putting my head back on my sport near chair, watch that video, guys, and relaxing with my kuksa and having some coffee and talking to y'all. Well, we're at 50 minutes. What do you say we take it to an even hour? How's that sound? So if anybody has any questions they want to mention, I'm just relaxing, man. I'm going to go for a motorcycle ride later today. Obviously on this, but then we're also going to take some Harleys out and run around a little bit too. M's in town, and Iron Lady and I are going to go out and maybe. Yesterday we went for a ride. It was great. M spent the night, and we went to quite a few locations. We went down to we took it's a road called Route 60, State Route 60, and it runs from I'd say, well, it runs all the way through Ohio, but the main part we were on from Zanesville down to McConnellsville. And it's right along the Muskingum River, which should be called the Tuscarawas River because the Tuscarawas is bigger than the Muskingum, or bigger than the all the other rivers when it comes into it. So it should be called, just like I think the Ohio River should, the Mississippi should be called the Ohio, because the Ohio is bigger, coming out of Pennsylvania, runs down, joins into the little tiny itsy bitsy Mississippi River, and then becomes the Mississippi River. No, it's the Ohio River. Same thing is true with the Tuscarawas. It's big river comes in and joins a couple other ones, and it becomes the Muskingum. Should be the Tuscarawas River, but I'm saying that because I grew up on the banks of it. Well, I'll digress. We went from Zanesville down Route 60 down to McConnellsville. Ate a really cool little barbecue joint. It was a lot of fun. We stopped there a couple different times. Oh, chipmunk just ran in front of me. Squirrel moment. And then we took Route 37 and then up to Route 37 up to Route 13 and made a big circle and stopped at the Verbridge on 204 winery and had a really nice sangria there. And then we rode a little bit more and went to a really cool little brewery called Granville Brewing, and that was a lot of fun as well too. There'll be some pictures on Instagram about that too. It was a lot of fun, and we enjoyed our day and came back and had Taco Bell. I know, what the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, but it was one of the things that they wanted some fast food, and I said, yeah, go get some. I'll have. They used to have a thing called an enchilada, and it was actually the best thing Taco Bell's ever done, and they quit doing it. And it irritates me because it was an Americanized enchilada that actually had some flavor to it, but no more. Let's see, we're 7 minutes away. Any other questions? We're down to 18 people getting bored with my talks, apparently. Well, maybe we'll shut her down early, but until then, I'm going to warm up my kuksa with the last bit of coffee that I brought. And again, if you're not familiar, a kuksa is a hand-carved Scandinavian backpacking and camping cup that is awesome. I put a little carabiner and a little bit of paracord on there. I hollowed out the paracord, took the inner liner out, and then I use it for hooking on the back of my my backpack when I do some hiking, because a lot of times I'll take a 3-day pack and get way back in the woods, even farther away than this, and do some really heavy trails, and where there's nobody around, and I'll set up camp and just spend a couple days there doing that, because it's a lot of fun, and my kuksa is perfect for it. No, I didn't make it. I bought it. But anyway, any other questions, guys? If not, well, I was going to take it to an hour, but we got 22 people. Maybe some new folks will get on there and say something on the chat. Let's see if there's any words up there. Miss my woods and my childhood to you. Let's see, go back a little bit. You need to be downwind. Canuck, chook. Do you ever use WD-40? We already did that. Anyway, looks like that's pretty much wolfback. I say a lot of. Oops. See, wow, there's quite a few chats that didn't come up there. I didn't see. Wow, how come this is didn't come up before? You position yourself to be in your woods. Yes, exactly right. Talking about deers, that's what I grew up in the bush. Okay, let me get my glasses. Let's see if we can do this the right way. I grew up in the bush. Lots of roos and wallabies, not to mention red-bellied black snakes and brown snakes, deadly stuff. Snake, that is, yes. You picked the perfect time for us in the UK. Well, good. That's what I'll probably start doing then. How do you manage snakes in the US? I don't, because they don't cooperate. We in this part of Ohio, we don't really have too many poisonous snakes. We have mostly stuff like rat snakes and black snakes and things like that, and I love them. I used to catch them when I was a kid, so I don't have any problem with snakes. South of here, they do. They have copperheads and things like that. Let's see, Canuck Chuck. I may have missed it. Are you a traditional bow hunter? I used to, not anymore. I still do some archery for some fun, but anyways, you should call it Muskrat Kingdom River. Yeah, well, it's Musk Kingdom. We have everything here in this part of Ohio, including the name of the state, is Native American. You should show us the Colorado mountains. I've heard they are, and that's the plan in the future. Um, it is it a lot of turns where you live, or more straight, training on speed and turn? It is completely curvy roads, and again, if you look Thor on any of my videos, you're going to see. Sorry, that screen messed up because I was touching it to make sure my chat's up there. There's constant tour, and I have one called, and it's a mild one, but it's called Himalayan on Twisties. Watch that. Hello, hey Snow Wolf, glad you made it. If you had a superpower, would you fart on command or have? Well, I don't really know, Snow Wolf. I've never even thought about that because I'm not really into butt stuff like apparently you are. Have you had any steering head? No, not at all. I check that constantly because that's what I heard one of the problems were. But then again, I check steering head problems on my Harleys as well too. So let's see. Have you had? Oh, okay, it's the same thing. So apparently there was a little lag there where I didn't get any questions, and I kind of, I thought people were just going off, but apparently that's not the truth. So anyway, uh, 57 minutes. We're gonna say we're gonna shut her down in an hour anyway. So finish up my coffee and my Kuksa, Kuksa. This has been a blast, guys. I really do enjoy doing these live chats with you. Let's see. Snow Wolf, would you buy a barbecue that runs on? Apparently, Snow Wolf has got. He must be a YouTuber because he's got a lot of good questions that only he could answer. James said, "Been watching you since close to your beginning. I have always had trail bikes and will trade up to a Hemi, but am off in my 21-year-old Honda." I'll tell you what. Again, I joke on Hondas a lot, but I had an '83 650 CB before, or CB 650, and I sold it before we moved down here. And it was a great motorcycle. So we had blast and blast on it. Where do your majority of your viewers come from? I have a tremendous following in India, obviously because of the Himalayan, but I would say still mostly it's the United States, followed really close by the UK. I did the analytics and seeing where people come from. A lot in Mexico, a lot in Canada. Obviously, U.S. is number one. Ride and Escape. He looks like he's got the Irish flag there. I can barely see it. I'll put my glasses on. Is that orange? Yes. So he looks like that's the Irish flag. So welcome from Ireland. And we do, like I say, we have we're kind of worldwide. I have really, really devout followers down in South America as well too. Not so much in China, and I don't know why, unless they have some restrictions on some channels over there. I don't know. We wouldn't think so. We try to stay really family friendly. Occasionally, I'll let one slip out, but not a real offensive word to a lot of people. But I think that's kind of, if you want to know where most of the people are coming from. Like I said, I have a pretty good following in India because of the Royal Enfield, and she's done really well for me. Well, we're down to 59 minutes, so we're going to do a countdown. Anybody want to say anything besides Snow White there, whatever his name was? We're not gonna acknowledge him anymore. Let's see. Snow Wolf been drinking water from the Tuscaloosa River. I know. I'll put the spelling up someday soon. What it says. You know, everybody thinks they're funny. I'll carry my Himalayan on my pickup truck. Love traveling mainly in the snow. Lonely solo trips. You ride horses? Used to. I think that was Snow White again, but well, if he has a decent question, we'll answer him. But other than that, not so much. Because why be rude, dude? That's nothing else to do. Keep up the good work. Stray Dog says, looking forward to seeing your next video. Thanks, guys. And I really do appreciate that. I look forward to reaching out. And one thing I do want to mention, and I was going to earlier and I forgot, there's a, don't eat the wild mushrooms. I like to. Apparently, you don't know how to. So that's cool. Maybe a city boy like you shouldn't be eating or even be in the woods. But what I was to get at is we're going to be there's a big chopper show in Ohio called Fuel Cleveland, and we're going to be doing a ride up to it, and it's on November 6th. I know it's a lot of cool for a lot of people, but we're going to be taking some motorcycles up there and getting a bunch of people together. And it's I'm going to start doing in this particular part of Ohio. I know it's not conducive for everybody in the country, but we're going to start doing some Ronin rides and gather some people around and taking on some curvy roads and some gravel roads if you have the right bike. We'll do some Himalayan rides and some Harley rides. Mostly on the gravel, it's going to be all Himalayan and things like that. And we're going to be doing that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So look for that in the future as well, too, along with all these other plans that we've got. And I mentioned earlier about Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, instagram.com/Ol Man Ronin. Goodbye, John. See ya. We also have a Facebook group, Fans of Ol Man Ronin. We obviously we haven't been able to do too much since we've been computer down, but place me there. Patreon.com, Ol Man Ronin. That's where you can get the free Himalayan download. And I just really want to, encourage everyone to keep watching and subscribing. And we're going to be doing a giveaway soon. And it's going to be something that's going to be cool for not only Harley riders, but the Himalayan and the Royal Enfield riders as well too. And that'll be coming up very, very soon. You're going to look forward to, I'll probably be doing a video. I'll probably film it this week, and then it'll be something that I think is going to be really cool for a lot of different people. It's going to be a free giveaway. And the way to win it will be, you have to be a subscriber, you have to comment, you have to share, and you have to like in particular videos. And when you do that, I will be picking at random somebody out of that realm, and then you're going to be getting a free whatever it is. I'm not going to let you know. That'll be at the next video. Well, everybody, I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking in with me, and thank you for asking stupid questions. It's Indian flag. Okay, I couldn't see the color. Sorry about that, Wolf. I couldn't see the colors very well because it's really tiny on my phone. I don't have that big a screen of phone. Until next time, everybody, make sure you ride safe and keep her on two wheels, baby. Shall we do the song? Do 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 do.